Hey guys, how we doing? I hope we're enjoying this lovely Scottish weather. The sun is out, the guns are out. Well, not mine's, but maybe other people's. Hope we're out there running. I hope we're out there walking, cycling, hiking, whatever it is. Whitewater rafting, boarding. I've seen some of the kids in the canal doing some of their sort of waterboarding or whatever they're doing down there. It's amazing to see people out in this good weather. Finally, Scotland's blessed us with some sun, some vitamin D. But what I want to do is talk about my update on my injury and the insecurities and the demons I've had through my injury, because maybe this is going to relate to somebody out there who's injured or going through a tough time with their athletics, with their sport, whether it be, weightlifting, powerlifting, bodybuilding, running, cycling, whatever it is. When you're going through a tough time, I feel that you need to know that other people are also going through a tough time, to make sure that you know that you're not the only one, and you can reach out and you can, again, message me below, let me know how you're doing, or even message me in direct message and, share your problem there. I'm here to try and help, because ultimately the reason I'm in this problem is because my obsession has become a compulsion, and a toxic compulsion. And what I mean by that is, I, before this injury, I had to train every single day, practically twice a day. That was my compulsion. I'd actually get anxiety, I'd get stressed, and I'd get angry and frustrated and antsy and agitated if I didn't train twice a day, every single day, 14 times a week. And if I wasn't running anywhere between 100 miles and up to 105, 110, 115 miles in a week. And it was becoming a toxic compulsion, and I got away with it. In 2015, I had one of the best seasons and the best years of my athletic career. But there's a famous saying that says, what got you here won't necessarily get you there. And what I mean by that is, I've tried to do the same things that got me to 29:16 for 10k and 14 minutes for 5k every single year. And I seem to keep banging my head against the wall. And I think eventually you can only bang your head against the wall so many times, and you can have disappointments and upsets so many times, especially as I'm getting older now. I'm now 29. I know people might be like, oh, you're still a pup. But in terms of athletics and trying to get a Great Britain vest or a Scotland vest or run qualifying times, time is now running away from me, no pun intended. And back in 2015, I actually was in the running to get a Great Britain vest and run at the European Cup for Great Britain. Ultimately, it all fell through because, I was a bit of a loose cannon, a firework that literally just came into the Great Britain scene, and, the selectors weren't ready for it. And ultimately, because I didn't show consistent form, it was only my second ever 10k, I didn't get selected. And hey, they things happen. Did I used that as motivation to keep training harder, longer, and faster. And ultimately, this has been sort of the compulsion that has led to maybe the last 4 or 5 years of not getting the fruits of my labour and the fruits of my hard work. And I feel that now my hard work is now a compulsion and a vicious obsession that's created a toxic environment for me physically and mentally, that's not allowed me to move forward in the last 5 years. So, usually my clients come to me, and every week they lift a personal best or they run a personal best or whatever it may be, week on week on week. And sometimes after maybe 2 or 3 months, they don't get a personal best. And what I say to that is, your coach, me, hasn't had a personal best over a distance in 5 years and still trains every single day and tries to remain positive and remain focused and on it all the time. But basically, the last 4 or 5 weeks now, I've been taking a day off every single Thursday to allow this posterior tibialis to settle down. And what I've saw, and what you probably saw if you follow me on Strava or on Garmin or on Instagram through stories, you can see that I'm actually getting better each and every week, that I'm taking this one day off. I know it's only one day, and I'm also not training in terms of running twice a day. I'm running once in the morning and then I'm cycling at night, to make sure I'm taking that load off my joints, my tendons and my ligaments and my muscles, to allow them to recover from the impact from the ground. and it's been working really, really well. I'm also not doing 110, 105, 100 miles a week. I'm down at 50 just now. I'm actually, 2 weeks ago I was down at 40. Last week I was at 45, and then this week I'm at 50. And I tell you this, the first time I took one full day off 5 weeks ago, I had a sore head from thinking that I was looking at my watch going, I could literally go out for half an hour. I've got time, I've got the yoga class at 5:30 online, but I've got time to go out just now. I've got plenty of time. And this compulsion, this is when you know something is taking over you and get control over you, and you've not got control over it. So running had, or still has to a certain degree, a lot of control over me. But what I'm trying to do is take that control back and be a little bit more logical and rational than emotional and irrational. And I feel that nowadays, the society that we are now bred into makes us very emotional, very compulsive, very quick, snappy, and we don't really think about our decisions logically and rationally. We're very, very emotional with our responses now, because that makes a quick decision and it makes a quick sale. And people want you to buy through emotion and not through logic, because if you logically thought about what you wanted and what you needed, you probably wouldn't buy that thing. You wouldn't be, your house wouldn't be surrounded with lots of things that you didn't need. It's just that you wanted it. So I've decided to try and take that control back. And the first two Thursdays that I took off, I had like banging headaches, and it wasn't caffeine withdrawals, because that's another thing that I've got, that I need to take control of, is my caffeine addiction. So, my running is taking it's hopefully it's taking a more positive turn. And if there's anybody out there that's basically, the definition of insanity is doing the same old thing and expecting different results. And I'm here to tell you, you need to break the cycle. You need to break the vicious cycle to start making progress. And like I said before, what got you here won't necessarily get you there. So just what you got when you got your personal best the first time, or your great season the first time, won't necessarily mean that you need to replicate that to get the same results. Because if you are, and you're kind of stuck in quicksand and you can't seem to get out of that hole that you've dug yourself into, and me as well, I've dug myself in this hole mentally and physically that I'm now trying to get out. I'm here to listen to you. If you've got any queries, any worries, any problems, any insecurities like I have, the reason I am basically training twice a day and not taking days off is because I am insecure that I'm not as talented as other athletes out there, that I need to work harder, longer, and faster than them to be better than them. But that compulsion has driven me to ultimately, again, thinking about other people instead of thinking about myself and my progress. Now this injury's actually shown me a reflection of the last 4 or 5 years that I've kept going not the way I've wanted to. And it's probably because I've been focusing on trying to get back to where I once was, and focusing on these athletes that maybe weren't as good as me in 2015, 2016 are now better than me, because I've been so in my own head trying to do 100 to 110, 120 miles a week, and it's not working for me. And it takes blow by blow, head bang on the wall after head bang on the wall, to make me realise right now that ultimately I'm going to start taking control back in my running, and understanding that one day off, even if it's one a week, one every 2 weeks, that's literally 25 days off in a year. I've had about 70 days of poor running just with this posterior tibialis, just with this one injury alone, never mind the other injuries that have forced me to have days off and days out of sessions and big training sessions for the marathon. 25 days off in an entire year is a better risk to take than trying to train all the way through. And ultimately, I believe just now, only for my personal experience, that the days off that I never took when I was, really tired and I should have took them, they've now came back to bite me in the backside. So if you feel that you're in that position as well, then, reach out, let me know. If you feel that there's somebody in that position that needs to hear this video and hear this message, that they're not the only one, and somebody that maybe you look up to, and you maybe want to run those times, 29 minutes and 14 minutes for 5k, and you look up to me and you think, I've got my shit together. We've all got our insecurities and we all have our demons. It's how we manage them day by day, week by week, to make us better. So hopefully, I know this was a long one, but if you stayed with me to the end there, I'm really, really thankful, and I hope this can help somebody. All right, I hope you have a great rest of your Thursday. Over and out.